Mitch McConnell. He singularly was the person who did not get a stimulus package done months ago. And tonight, as the president's offer of $1.8 trillion was rejected by Nancy Pelosi, it was already effectively rejected by Mitch McConnell. Why was Mitch McConnell singularly the voice that blocked your stimulus packages all these months? And why was the president's inability to realize that the most important person in this negotiations was not Steve Mnuchin, not Nancy Pelosi, but Mitch? This is Afternoons LALATE. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Afternoons LA with a special report about Mitch McConnell and your second stimulus check, as the president's $1.8 trillion offer is rejected by Nancy Pelosi, even though Mitch McConnell had indicated just days ago that the Senate would never go that high. I hope you're having a great afternoon, first of all. Sorry, jumped the gun there. And hope you are safe and in a good spirit. Go to the French channel, subscribe. Subscribe because we're trying to reach 290,000 subscribers. We're almost there, about 1,200. Let's see if we can get there today. Let's do it. Let's do it. Also, like this video. In this video, which is usually the unemployment video, and I will be getting to that shortly, is today yet again following the path of yesterday's special reports, which is the erosion of any stimulus package by legislative path. And once again, in this time slot, I'm focusing on Mitch McConnell. In this video, I'll be going over first, why the president seemed to never grasp that his inability to get an agreement with Mitch McConnell was paramount before even dealing with Nancy Pelosi. Second, I will be going over the issue of the Senate races and how that will impact your second stimulus package. Third, I will be going over the campaign trail and how does that impact executive orders. And finally, a debate canceled and the issue of LWA benefits from behind. All right, let me get to the breaking news. The breaking news is that Nancy Pelosi has rejected Donald Trump's $1.8 trillion deal offer, but, no less than 24 hours earlier, Mitch McConnell said, "We're not going that high. What are you doing, Donald?" Minutes ago, as reported on this channel and first detailed in an NBC News exclusive, Senate Republicans reportedly called the White House and spoke to Donald Trump, Mark Meadows, chief of staff to Donald Trump, and Steve Mnuchin, and said, "Stop this silliness with stimulus. You're way too high, and you do not have the authority or support of the Senate Republicans to go any higher. You're at 1.8, and we're not even supporting 1.8. What's important to understand here is that President Trump made a calculated error, and the error was Mitch McConnell. Back in May or June, when this channel sort of started moving slowly into stimulus, Mitch McConnell was a hot mess expressed unto himself. He said first, people on unemployment were trying to get rich on the American system and were just lazy and weren't getting back to work, and that there were jobs for them. A, there were lockdowns. B, they didn't have jobs to go back to. And 3, they were not getting rich off of $600 a week. Second, he said, I don't see the real need for stimulus at the time. There's not enough economic data. I slammed him day after day, was saying, why do you not see there's not enough economic data? But as we moved into August, as we moved into September, Mitch McConnell certainly started to change around and said, I think we need a stimulus package. We think we need a stimulus package. But the problem came from the president and his relationship with Mitch McConnell. When the president delegated Steve Mnuchin to negotiate on behalf of the Republicans, he cut out Mitch McConnell. It was an ego hit to Mitch's ego, who ultimately saw that the first stimulus package was done by the negotiations of all these people in the Senate and all these people in the House and all these people in the cabinet. It wasn't 2 or 3 people negotiating. But Mitch was left out, and ultimately he would have to hear things secondhand about the negotiations. When the bill drafting came to a fruition, the HEALS Act, Steve Mnuchin President Donald Trump's cabinet member, and Mitch McConnell were reportedly trying to get it drafted as a team for weeks. But eventually that fell apart. And eventually a big fight erupted. The fight was very well documented in broadcast news. And ultimately what happened was Mitch wrote it by himself. He introduced the HEALS Act by himself. He did not have Steve Mnuchin's involvement with the bill. The president did not co-sign the bill. The bill was introduced and it was panned immediately. This is not the most recent bill. This is the bill before that. As soon as it was panned, the president said to insiders, but these reports went widespread and Mitch heard them, that Mitch's bill was irrelevant, an irrelevant document. Mitch reportedly was pissed and was not happy that the president said that. Well, as negotiations between Steve and Nancy erupted and continued over a 2-week period of time, they never worked off of Mitch's bill, a further ego hit. Ultimately, Mitch tried to do something and do another revision of a bill and introduced one, which hysterically was a hot mess unto itself. It was introduced hours after Mark Meadows, Steve Mnuchin, Donald Trump, Larry Kudlow, and Pete Navarro all told you what was going to be in this final bill introduction to the Senate. And when it was introduced, it was nothing like what we were told it was going to have in there. Viewers were irate, and apparently one of the most shocking developments that I've seen since this channel ever launched was that all 5 people told us that Mitch's bill coming was going to have stimulus checks in it, and it didn't have it in there. What was he thinking? Now, to this day, we still have no idea why Mitch McConnell introduced a bill like that. We have no idea if he ever polled Republicans in the Senate, but we do know the following. There's about 20 Republicans who simply never want to give you stimulus. We will see if they get reelected in November. There's 20 Republicans who absolutely do not want to give you a penny. When I mean not a penny, I literally mean don't want to give you a penny. Then there's about 40-something senators who reportedly would give you somewhere upwards of about 1.5, which is the problem solvers of bill. But as Chuck Grassley says, they're not going to be happy going over 1.0, but will be screaming, kicking, going to 1.5. And at that point, they're walking out the door after 1.5. So when Steve Mnuchin came in at 1.6 last week, I said, what's going on here? This is silliness because we already know the Senate's not going to approve 1.6. And then 2 days ago, Steve went to 1.8. Mitch McConnell quickly slammed Donald Trump once again, but not calling him directly by name, but his work product. Why are you at 1.8 when you know my group is not going to approve 1.8? What's important to understand, I repeat it on a daily basis, but sometimes I got to do what I got to do, is that a bill needs to pass the Senate to become law. It has to be voted in the House and passed, voted in the Senate and passed, and then voted by the president. And ultimately, the president seemed to forget the Senate was an equation. But it's questionable whether Wall Street forgot that as well. In the last 2 days, Wall Street's traded up on the news that a stimulus package was being raised and bigger. It was 1.8, and this is really, big and go home. Well, some news reporters said, what about Mitch? And as soon as Mitch said a comment on Friday, after the president said a positive comment in the morning, the stock market, which was going up very sharply, went the other direction. Mitch turned the stock market the other direction. If you're thinking what the president must have thought of tomorrow's, the president must not have been happy that Mitch's negative remark picked up by the stock market turned the stock market negative on a day in which it was trading up on Donald Trump's positive news as president. The question as we sit here today is, why does the president not understand that he really does not have a good grasp of any legislative support? He doesn't have Nancy. He doesn't have Mitch. He doesn't have the conservative Senate Republicans who don't want to give you a penny. He doesn't have the Senate Republicans who are moderate, who are over 1.5 trillion. So who really does he have supporting his efforts? Himself and Steve Mnuchin, who's hired to support the president. The president literally has no Republicans supporting him over 1.5 trillion. And yet, what can the president do? Well, he was supposed to have a debate, and that second debate is now canceled. So the president cannot rely upon a second debate to get an increase in the polls. Next, the president's going back on the campaign trail. Yes. On today, by the time of this recording, the president will be holding an in-person event at the White House, but on Monday, he will be going back on tour. Well, campaign trail. And it will take him to Florida. The president has assured news right now I'm medication free and that I'm not contagious. The question is, however, what the president can do going forward as a stimulus. He really has no legislative choice anymore. And so it's important to understand is the president can do executive orders, should do executive orders, and is waiting too long. For LWA, it has been really one of the real testaments to someone understanding the situation. Let me recap how successful the launch of LWA was for this president by executive orders. There's always someone who wants to give a false narrative, who wants to jump on Twitter and wants to jump onto this channel and say, the president can't do executive orders. Where were you when he announced LWA? This is Herb Damars. Thank you for joining our planet. There was an executive order a few weeks ago that created LWA. Let me explain how well done that was. The president wrote an executive order at some time, didn't announce it, then on a Friday had a press conference, said that he might be doing it shortly. We all thought, oh, what is that? And when is it coming? Well, the next day, it just appeared. It just appeared on the White House's website for announcements. And there it was, this thing called LWA. And we immediately looked at it and we're like, well, where's the money coming from it? And who's going to be doing it? And it's just a piece of paper. I don't understand this. What is this thing? And where is it? No one had seen anything like it. It was no less than a few days later, or a day or so later. It was very, very quick. Suddenly, someone raised their hand and said, hi, I'm FEMA. Not FEMA, not FEMA, the girl from the club, that Chad hit on in an earlier video. FEMA, Federal Emergency Management Association or Agency, said, hi, we have some LWA money for unemployment assistance. Come and get it. Everyone was like, what are you talking about? Why does FEMA have money for unemployment? FEMA's for, tornado hitting. Why are they doing unemployment assistance and enhanced unemployment assistance? And what's going on here? Well, FEMA basically said that the president had determined that FEMA was in possession of excess money that he could repurpose for the purpose of enhanced unemployment benefits. And by that decree, he instructed FEMA, not in front of press, not by paper, because he already had a piece of paper, told FEMA, it's your money we're going to use. It's your money that's going to send out enhanced unemployment benefits. Now, what's so important for you to understand is that what he did there, he can do again. He can call up the phone and call Javita Carranza, say, Javita, this is the president, and there's $200 billion, there's $500 billion sitting in your coffers, sitting under your scars, that is unused PPP money. We all know that PPP has expired now. This is unused money for CARES Act 1. You know what you're going to do, Javita? You're going to raise your hand or raise your scars and say, hi, states want some money, come and get a new round of LWA. I'm Javita Carranza or Javita Late with the nice theme song, and come and get it. Start your applications. And it's as simple as that. He doesn't have to issue another executive order. I don't know what he's doing. In the old expression of Joan Rivers, can we talk? Can we talk? It's like, hello, Mr. President. Do I need to go there and, I'm not going to meet you face to face. I'll shout from afar. No, behind the sneeze guard. But can we talk, Mr. President? Why are you not doing another round of LWA? You have the money for an LWA. You've done it before. You have the money. You have the money for enhanced unemployment benefits, and you have the money for stimulus checks. As we sit here today, Mitch has really ultimately pulled the trump card on Trump, blocking the president, who ultimately did not turn to Mitch for negotiations, did not turn to Mitch for insight on what numbers he wanted, did not turn to Mitch for collaboration on much of anything, and ultimately Mitch was always the naysayer and killed it before it even got to the Senate. As you sit here today, also remember the Senate's closed because of Mitch McConnell. Here's some incredible comments from yesterday. Roxana Samant. He hasn't been around since August. Why doesn't Mitch just shut up? Well, he has been around. He just hasn't done anything. Rolando Mendoza. That's actually what she wrote. Mitch is acting like Nancy now. Do we have two Nancys now? Okay, everyone's lit up today. Richard. Mitch McConnell is supposedly working for the American people. He's not. It's called treason. He belongs to prison. Okay. This is a hot video. I could see why this was very well watched yesterday. Rinza, it's not a competition. You're messing with people's lives and now the stimulus checks. William Lacombe. Okay, seeing how Mitch is ready to burn down the Trump presidency over prize is really a surprise. Trump didn't want him in the negotiations. It was a bad mistake. Larry, I'm a Kentucky Republican, and if he holds it up, nobody will vote for him. People in Kentucky are really pissed at him and want him out. Patricia Horn, Mitch is getting rich off of homeless people. Carol, can Mitch be voted out of office? Yes, he's up for re-election. If you don't like him, as the guy said before, don't re-elect him. But you have to be in Kentucky to vote. Joan, this gang of thieves are destroying us. Christina, what jobs? People are having a hard time finding jobs because of the coronavirus. So what are the jobs, Mitch McConnell? Very well said. Thank you for your comment, Christine Airgood. It's Bigorn. Mitch, okay, sorry, we forgot you're still here. These comments are just incredible. Linda Blackburn, if Americans aren't buying no businesses, we will survive. Jack Farias, what happened to Mitch saying he would go if anything the president would go with? Yeah, he did say that once. A good memory there, Jack. William Morris, it's all entertainment for these people. Lena Monatas. Let's see who's stronger, Trump or McDonald. Well, it's McDonald's. Yeah, I think McDonald's is strongest, the one in the bunch. Tona, Mitch and Nancy, the biggest problems. Jackie, Mitch needs to sit back and let them handle the business. Tracy, he's ahead of the polls in his Senate race, Mitch. Who the hell is voting for him in Kentucky? All the business owners? It's actually true. Mitch is going to win again. He was not doing well before, but he's absolutely going to get reelected. There you go. Coming up next is Pelosi versus Mnuchin. Go to the phone's channel, subscribe because, boy, I'm breaking it down for you bit by bit, Mitch by Mitch. And also like this video. It's a big day, and there's a lot coming up. And then there's evening's LALATE. So stay tuned for more. As always, stay informed, stay smiling, and stay up LA for more.